Here are the nominees in the narrative category.
One year ago, southern Appalachia faced the worst natural disaster in its recorded history. Hurricane Helene carved through the mountains with unstoppable force. From the skies above, the scars tell the story of destruction and survival. Railroads that had endured for generations were torn from the earth, leaving nothing but broken tracks and silence. Bridges, both humble and mighty, were no match for Helene's wrath. From back roads to the great interstates, spans of concrete and steel were swept away as if they had never existed. Roads that once wound through these mountains vanished in broad daylight, collapsing into cliffs, erased without a trace. Torrents of mud and debris poured through the towns, burying streets and smothering entire communities beneath the earth. What wasn't buried was torn from its foundations and swept away. Together, we continue to rebuild, resilient and determined to rise above. Mountain strong, Appalachian strong.
Congratulations!
My name is Ari Kotler. I am an outfitter and guide in Idaho, Selway, and Maine Salmon Rivers.
This is the first part of the big adventure. Looking forward to it. It's always an experience getting in there.
I've been an outfitter for 15 years. I've been a guide now for 32 years. There was a calling. It's one of those points in life where there's a fork and you make a decision and no regrets. So I pay a lot of attention pre-season. I'm seeing what's kind of building up in terms of snow levels in the Bitterroot Mountains. I'm trying to determine of what the first trip might look like. Mother Nature's at work in terms of controlling the flows of the river.
We are at the top of the Nez Perce Pass. We're on the divide between Montana and Idaho. About to drop right back into Idaho, into the Selway drainage over the snow. And it feels like spring, and we're taking on that vitamin D. We'll be back on dirt by the time we get to Paradise to put in. Then we see the river. And that's when the heart really starts to beat and gets exciting.
And the Magruder Corridor is the road that divides the Selway Bitterroot Wilderness to the north and the Frank Church Wilderness, which is to the south. Now, those two wilderness areas combined, with the exception of this 20-foot road, is the largest wilderness area in the lower 48. Well, 70 miles in, you're going in.
There's one launch per day, so there's a relatively short floating season. You can't come in here until April, and even then you have to traverse a snowy pass. You have to have special equipment to make that happen. And then the river, it'll run kind of a high water up and down in the spring, and then drops every week in the summer, every day in the summer, until it kind of bottoms out at some point.
1, 2, 3.
As river changes from still to ripples to rapids, there are things that remain constant, right? It is that the river will always welcome you back. She will always greet you as you have that reflection of yourself as you look upon her, and that transformation and that natural healing that occurs whenever you are around her.
It is just purely raw and beautiful. And it's becoming more and more essential today for our culture, for our civilization, to be able to spend time in places like this. Anytime now we'll have snow on the ground, and then we embrace the winter, and you embrace the snow and the cold and that which is gonna bring the whole new season next year.
The winner of the 2026 AZDroneFest Best Narrative is The 3100 by Mark Fisher